Meghan Sussex, the princess that you are, the queen that you are, you've been stepping on people's necks and they are choking. They are choking. I am so happy that flight attendant came forward to share that wholesome interaction that she had with Meghan on American Airlines. It was so wholesome, and that video has been going viral. Everyone is talking about that. Of course, you have the UK media doing multiple articles about that encounter. You even had Daily Mail writing about that story, about how they exchanged notes, and then that itself got so much coverage that Kate 3-sentence commissioning a ship. I think the royal family has no idea how eclipsed and irrelevant they have become. They have no idea. They keep saying Meghan is irrelevant, Harry is irrelevant. They don't care about her. But every single day, they are talking about Meghan. They are talking about Meghan day in, day out. They need Meghan to survive. I think that they even admitted, their CEO admitted that the only way they get clicks, the only way they get engagement is when they talk about Meghan. So that should just tell you how powerful our girl is. That alone should tell you. Now, of course, that moment has left a bitter taste in the Rangers' mouths. They are so pissed. First, they cannot comprehend how Meghan has such a beautiful heart. They keep saying, oh no, she's not like that. Meghan told it, fake this scene. Her PR team faked this scene and released it. Get out of here. Maybe this girl did not have to do that, but she did it because she wanted the world to see that how awesome Meghan is. Every person who's met Meghan they've always said amazing things about Harry and Meghan. Every single person who's worked with Meghan, who's met Meghan, they've always talked highly of them. Then you have these derangers who, by the way, they don't know anything about Harry and Meghan. They don't know anything. Yet they claim they know Harry and Meghan more than Harry and Meghan know themselves. That itself should tell you everything you need to know. So now, let's get serious. Remember, William and Kate had this naming ceremony, a ship naming ceremony back in Scotland. By the way, it was an embarrassment. It was an embarrassment. So now, guess what? Pictures were released. Now, clearly, the publicists are working overtime. The communication team is working overtime of how affectionate they were, of how William was waiting for Kate to get off the private jet that is fully funded by taxpayers' money. And trust me, if you see how that hug or how they're acting like they're so affectionate, it's so cringe. You can just tell they're trying so hard, it's fake. And then also, it's been revealed that they travel separately. Every single time they go somewhere, they always arrive separately and then they meet up and then they act like, oh, we were together. So this is William. There's a picture of William waiting and Kate is coming off the private jet, and then they go waiting, opens the door, gets Kate in the car. They go to the ship naming ceremony. And then did you see that how they are faking affection? PR, you can just tell this is PR because you never you can just tell this is PR. This is their publicist working overtime to make sure they seem relatable, to remind people, oh, you see what? The future king and queen of England are also so in love. They're so romantic. That's the vibe. But thing is, it's a cringe vibe. I don't know if they know that, or maybe they just know, but they just want to continue embarrassing them. So now it turns out they arrived separately. Now, William is known to champion climate change. The Rangers have had this argument that William arrived there earlier because he had an engagement. That's why, he was seen waiting for Kate to come off the jet. But here's the thing. People are pissed. They're like, so you mean Kate had nothing else going on? Why would they not have traveled together, a day prior, like the day where William was traveling? And then the next day they could have gone to the venue. Why is it that you guys used separate planes to travel? Mind you, those planes are taxpayer funded. So who has the biggest carbon footprint in history? Who's the biggest hypocrite when it comes to climate change? Of course, ladies and gentlemen, is Wakshay William. Because people were like, you guys could have traveled together. Because they're just going to say, no, what is wrong with you? If this was Harry and Meghan, They arrive separately. Oh, it'll be divorce, 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 divorce. They'll be divorce, divorce, divorce. Or they cannot stand each other. That will be the vibe. The media would have run it. Or they came separately. They cannot stand one another. So hey, let's dish it back to you guys. And even JB News made a subtle dig at them. It's like, oh, they arrived separately. Why would you guys arrive separately? What was so important that Kate was doing that he could not have tagged along William and then waited and they could have both gone to the event? That would have saved money, but clearly these people don't reason that way. So now they are being teared down yet again. And I love that one. I love when that happens, when they're being dragged, because it's just so obvious they're faking these pictures for PR. And it's in recent light of Meghan going viral. Meghan and Harry going viral. I think they're still pissed about Harry and Meghan's Beyonce concert pictures. They still are pissed. So what do you mean? And with Harry and Meghan's pictures, you can just see they're in love. These two love each other. No one is cringing over that. It's like the glow, the happiness, the fun that they're having. They're just so in sync with one another. And like these other two, who, by the way, it's just so cringe. You can just tell it's faked. Because I remember there's a time when William tried touching Kate and she just, she moved. You could just tell they cannot stand one another. And there have also been reports. Of course, UK media is not going to report on that. These two have been separated a long time ago. They don't even live together. Because on so numerous occasions, they always arrive differently. If you two are married and you're in love with each other, like you're trying to convince the public, why are you always arriving differently when you live together? Harry and Meghan always arrive. If they have an event, they always arrive together. You don't see Meghan arriving at a different time and Harry arriving at a different time. But no. When that happens, if that even one time maybe Harry went somewhere a week earlier, which by the way it's known, it's facts, and then Meghan will come later or leaves like the Invictus Games back in February when she left earlier because she wanted to go back stay with the kids after spending a week at the Invictus Games. That happens. But when it comes to Kate, or they don't say, oh no, William had an engagement, that's why they could not travel together. What was so important that Kate could not travel a day prior with William and then wait and then the next day? Yeah, but if it's them, it's fine. It's okay. They can travel separately. But if it's Harry and Meghan, oh, it's divorce. These two cannot stand another. That is the vibe that the media will run with. That is the story. So people are tearing them down, saying how they're cringe, how this is fake. Because what do you mean? You guys decided to release these pictures just few days after Harry and Meghan have been going viral. Meghan's beautiful exchange with that flight attendant has been going viral. It's now when there's pictures, we forgot to show you these pictures. And I also think the PR team is trying the best it can to sway from the fact that people are butchering Kate. They are dragging her for that speech. The Republic group is having a field day. They've been mocking, making videos, memes about that speech. People have been tearing her down. So I think this was an attempt for them to shift that criticism from that side. And also be like, okay, these are loving couples. Oh my God, look how they're getting off the plane so sweet. Oh my God, did you see how they are kissing? Mind you, William and Kate have only kissed once publicly. Once. They've only kissed once publicly. That should tell you everything. And with Meghan, with everyone else, they've always been doing it every single day. You see them at an event, they're making out. You see them, it's okay, unlike the other people. So people are dragging them. And honestly, it's a good sight to see. Their PR team must hate them also. They must clearly hate them. So here are some of the comments. PJ says, that fake hug tells you that they knew they were being photographed. They just knew. And it's just so cringe and awkward. And then they had their camera crew and script writers as usual. Like, 1, 2, shoot. Oh, like, just pretend. Then I Am Sage says, don't forget, William and Kate are rarely photographed by the pups. So it's quite interesting. The pups caught this one. Very, very interesting. And then you have Meghan says, yep, there is definitely something and the press have been told to and keep selling that fake story. He has checked out years ago. And then JP eventually replies, they've been separated since they moved to Adelaide Cottage. That's a separation home. They really expect us to believe the heir to the throne lives in a cottage with no living staff. Joe don't live with her either. Then you have Zainab says they do this for years. They travel separately and meet on the airport to go to the event so people will see them arriving together. And the fans will give you the excuse that she or William had to do a work before the event. That's why they arrive separately. That's what I keep telling you. Every single time they keep making up these excuses. Oh, she had work prior. No, boo. These two don't live with each other, because how many times do they keep arriving separately? That should tell you everything. Continue being in denial. And then Sussex Stan says, isn't there an account somewhere that tracks his helicopters too? They're always coming from different places. Yeah, and I remember that's how they said it. They started with that saying, these two don't live together, they are separated, and then they meet when they have an event, they meet at the airport or something. Then you have Nova say, yes, I'm not sure why people didn't talk about the uncoupled arrangement to arrive separately. Even the toxic GB News even dared to hint on it. That should tell you everything. And then you have Cindy say they flew separately. Says a lot to me. Me too, boo. It says a lot to me too. Let them continue being in denial. Let their fans continue the derangers. But here's the truth. They keep pushing that Harry and Meghan will separate, but that is not going to happen. They want Harry and Meghan to divorce, never happening. They're in love, they're happy. I like their faces who cannot stand one another. And then you have Geek says, these people are so fake. So they're now staging affection to be like Harry and Meghan, who are authentic. People can get a vibe, when you're real, when you're authentic, that vibe you get when you see someone, you can tell this person is a good person, or this person, no, the energy is off. Then that's the same thing in a case of Harry and Meghan. People can just sense their energy is always giving, and it's always in good light, and that's why people can tell when they are authentic, how their love is pure, how they genuinely love one another. It's a no-brainer. Honestly, it's a no-brainer. And that's something William and Kate have failed for years to mimic. They've tried so many times, and people can still just read through their bullshit, through their fakeness, through this staging, the paparazzi and whatnot. People can, they can just chew them up, and I'm here for it. Personally, I signed up to chew them as well, because what they're not gonna do is think they can bully and attack Harry and Meghan and think people are going to stand up to them. Well, there's the Sussex squad, and we don't play. So yeah, as always, let me know what you think in the comments. I'm Herald. Stay safe, and I will see you in my next video.